This is Wicked Rhody, a wicked good podcast about Rhode Island events and life. Hey everybody and welcome. My name's Mary Larson.
And I'm Ben DeCastro. Thank you so much for tuning in. And Mary, it's great to see you alive.
Thank you. My goodness gracious.
You became victim to the same thing so many people are going through this season. Really, it's...
the flu.
It takes you out.
Honest to God, that was the sickest I've ever been in my adult life.
Really?
I was so sick I was crying like a little kid at the doctor's office.
That's the indicator. That's the indicator.
That's what my doc said. She said, "Oh, you have the flu. I could tell. You're crying." So, God forbid if any of you listening to this feel so sick that you want to cry, you probably have the flu. But yeah, it was just as bad as all of the news reporters say it is. It's crazy.
That's terrible. Well, we're glad you're okay. You're alive. Shout out to Blake for holding down the Larson fort.
Yes.
It's not like he couldn't without you, but I mean, it's still. I mean, he's used to working 1,000 hours a week on top of everything else you guys do. So being down one member of the team, I'm sure was a tough. But it's Valentines weekend. Well, here's my question. See, we were going to go out last weekend. We did go out, but every restaurant was like packed, and we went out with another couple friends of ours, and they said, "Oh, it's Valentine's weekend." I said, "Well, do you celebrate it this weekend, or do you celebrate it next weekend?"
Good question.
I would have thought you would have celebrated this coming weekend, the weekend we're going to talk about. And then they were saying, "No, it's like Christmas. You don't celebrate Christmas after." I'm like, "Well, Christmas is one day, and nothing's open, so you just stay home, open presents, and eat a ham." But apparently, last weekend there were a ton of people out. But you weren't out, obviously.
No, I was sick.
You were on the DL.
This is kind of an ideal restaurant scenario, though, if you think about it. I mean, Valentine's Day is a huge deal. You get to have those special menus.
Sure.
You know everyone's going out. They're doing special things. And you get 2 weekends to choose from.
Okay. That works.
I think that's great.
Well, one Friday you can have me, and one Friday you can't if you're Catholic, because We Day this year is also the start of Lent.
Oh, it's Ash Wednesday. Yes.
Yeah, it was Ash Wednesday. So we know.
Obviously, we're Catholic.
We know who the good Catholic is in this on this podcast here. Get your drive-through ashes, ladies and gentlemen. 4 days late. So anyway, but so Valentine's weekend. But the big thing.
Tell me.
The Olympics.
Oh my
gosh, the world's a
yes.
stage. And did you see the photo that's cycling around from I want to say it was Chicago.
Okay. No, I'll tell you that.
It was a newscast, and as they're going through, and from being in the media, when that little screen, that little graphic appears over the guy's left shoulder, or woman, whoever is on camera, there's a graphic there. The newscaster who's sitting there talking usually doesn't create that. That's created by another person or whatever. And in a high rush environment, sometimes things get overlooked.
Yes.
So
accidents happen.
Exactly. So it said something like 2000 Olympic Games, P.F. Chang's instead of Pyeongchang. And the rings was only 4 of them. It was the 3 on the top and 1 underneath. So come to find out that it was some kind of spoof that they had created for like just something funny at the station.
For real for their friends.
But somebody grabbed it and just put it up there.
Oh my gosh.
And went with it. It's like,
Yes. They probably like glanced. It kind of looked the same. And then they didn't.
The other question I had was because it's actually an ABC affiliate, and we all know that the Olympics are on NBC.
Yes.
So were they trying to like bypass the whole okay, we don't want to be
we can't talk about the Olympics per se, but
absolutely. It's like
that was smart.
Well, no, it made them the laughing stock, unfortunately, and I'm sure somebody got in trouble. But have you been watching the Olympics at all? Have you been?
Ben, so I broke up with cable. Maybe a year and a half ago.
Yeah.
And I have not missed cable until now because the NBC Sports app is driving me crazy.
Oh, all right.
It's driving me bonkers. Back in the old days when you got to actually turn on the TV, you could just keep it on NBC all day.
Right.
And that way you'd have the coverage, you'd get the news, you'd get the soaps, you get whatever else that comes in there throughout the day. But you knew the Olympics were going to be on. And I keep missing things that I want, and I can't find it in this darn app. I'm so upset. There's ice skating that I really wish I could see, and I don't know how to work my Apple TV. So I am watching the Olympics. in very fragmented ways, but I am very upset that I don't have cable.
You might want to check out YouTube TV.
Oh,
YouTube TV is a new app. I'm not sure if it's fully functional here in Rhode Island and in southern New England, but it is big. There were a lot of ads regarding YouTube TV during the Super Bowl, and it's essentially it's like $30 a month or something like that, and it gives you all your local networks plus a bunch of other stuff. Plus, it's all on the YouTube platform, so it's streaming still. So you might want to check that out.
I might need that. How about you? Are you into the Olympics?
We've watched a little bit of it, but to be honest with you, even my wife was saying the other night, she said, I remember growing up, this was like everybody did. This like the world stopped and everything focused on the Olympics. And I think it's just because of the technology and everything that's out there nowadays. You're so fragmented with everything else that's happening in the world.
I thought the Olympians were like superheroes back then.
Sure. And now we find out that the kid who won like the snowboarding is just the 17-year-old punk from Colorado who, overslept, forgot his jacket. And he's like, yeah. And then, of course, there he goes and he drops an F-bomb they had to bleep out.
So many 17-year-olds do.
We've come a long way from the Olympic, Mount Olympus and the Greek tales of trials. I mean, that's what the Olympics were originally, feats of things you would do naturally. But yeah, so it's so we watched a little bit of it. I think if I was to do an Olympic sport, it would be the ski jumping. Looks the easiest. Oh,
sure, yes.
You take the elevator to the top. I'm serious. I could go in, what's the next one, 2022?
There you go.
I'm convinced that at this point in my life,
you just let gravity do the work?
Even as a 36-year-old male, I can train in the next 4 years, and I could be at the next Olympics just with the ski jumping.
That would kind of be amazing.
You take an elevator to the top of the thing.
They don't even shimmy up?
No, you don't have to. They take an elevator right up there to the top. Okay. And you sit on this little board and you wait for them to call your number. And they're like, USA number 10. Okay, you go over there. You slide out. You slide on this board. You're sitting down. You get these skis on. But there's tracks.
Yeah, you can't even mess up.
Your skis stay in these tracks. So I'm thinking, I'm a little overweight. I've been losing a little bit of weight. But still, I'm a little bit stockier and heavier than most of these other people. That might be an advantage because I've got more momentum going.
Physics.
All I've got to do is learn to land. I figure that'll take me a year.
Okay, yes.
Okay, a year max.
I believe
to learn how to land?
Yeah.
If you can't grasp it in a year,
then you shouldn't even try.
Exactly. So I think I got this.
I'm really excited. I may be tuning into more of the Olympics on YouTube TV in 2020 or whenever. 2022.
2022, yes.
Okay.
Yes. So check that out. Look for yours truly in the next round of the Winter Games. So if you tuned in while you're on the road working or watching the Olympics because you can watch it on mute, just sit back, listen, and enjoy the episode. Unless you're watching the ice dancing, which you kind of have to have the music on for that.
A whole different experience.
Yeah, you really, it will impress you at how many countries in Europe are ice skating to songs from the mid-'80s. But if you're sitting back listening and enjoying this, you hear something that piques your interest, we'll have all the links and info for you on our show notes in the website, wickedroadypodcast.com. All right, Mary, what do you got for the wicked interesting pick of the week?
Newport Vineyards.
Oh.
Newport Vineyards is going to be having their Winterfest. You see that little play on words?
Like that.
Winterfest going on this weekend. So it's a 3-day event. Friday, it's going to be the Speakeasy Soiree, which is going to be super fun. There's going to be live music. There's going to be bites and custom cocktails and all sorts of things. So if you feel like moving and shaking your groove thing to some more speakeasy type music, Friday night is your night. Saturday and Sunday, however, it's going to be the Winterfest weekend. Now, this is also going to include some food, some music. There's going to be grape stomping competitions. This is going on from 12 p.m. noon until 5 p.m. The grape stomping happens from 1 to 3. And I just feel like when you're at a vineyard, don't you want to stomp on grapes?
Do you bring your own grapes? Is it BYOG?
Do you have to go pick them? No. They've got all the grapes there. You're just going to make sure that, of course,
swing by Dave's Marketplace on your way. Bring your own grapes.
Yes. So gross. It's actually, I've been to a Winterfest last year, and to watch these people do the grape stomping is absolutely hysterical. I mean, they're complete strangers to most of the people there, and you are cheering them on. It is absolute fun. So I know that on Saturday they are already sold out. There will be a few tickets still available at the door, but Sunday is still open and free. So once again, it is the Newport Vineyards Winterfest. It's going on this weekend, and you get to try some of the local wines. I mean, it just gives you a whole new appreciation. So if you're someone who wants to go and try some local wines and do some fun, different things, definitely head on down to Newport Vineyards.
This is not a kids event.
No.
This is 21 plus, I would imagine.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think I've seen kids. I think I saw kids frolicking.
Frolicking.
Yeah, it was warm last February. Remember how it was gorgeous?
Yes.
It was like a spring day. So I did remember seeing like children frolic in the fields, but I will not bring my children. I'll tell you that.
All right,
you know?
So all right.
That's what's wicked interesting. And now here's what's wicked fun in the 401.
Mary, next week is vacation week.
Yes,
and
it is.
There are a lot of great things happening in and around the state, but something to keep in mind that's happening in the evening on Wednesday, February 22nd. It's First Works. First Works, you know, is that amazing art collaboration organization out of Providence. They are the ones that have done like the dancing on the side of the buildings in Providence and all the different unique arts. They have a performance on Wednesday evening, February 22nd, American Rhapsody, the Gershwin Songbook. Revel in a glorious evening of iconic music by one of the most indelible composers of the 20th century, George Gershwin.
Love him.
It's, you know, it's nearly after 100 years since his songs, a lot of them were composed. The music remains fresh and irresistible as it did during the jazz age. You know, his poetic melodies and eclectic oeuvre spanning everything from Broadway and Hollywood to opera and classic American standards that have really left a legacy with audiences that they love to hear again and again and again and again.
I do.
And again. This is going to be a lot of fun because they have the performance at night and they also have performance during the day for a lot of school-age children, which is cool because kids who are on break, they'll be going as part of inner city programming. But this time, it's going to be led by vocalist Michael Andrew, and he's really been hailed as like the next Harry Connick Jr.
I love Harry Connick Jr.,
Well,
so it sounds like I'm going to love Michael Andrew.
You're going to love you some Michael Andrew, some M.A., and it's going to be the 17-piece Gershwin Big Band, and they're going to be bringing the beloved Gershwin standards like I Got Rhythm, and that one, and then Someone to Watch Over Me. Do you know that one?
Yes.
Oh, okay, good.
Oh, God, these are all my jams.
Well, there you go. Well, you can bring you and your playlists over to the Vets, and they'll actually be doing, you just mentioned Speakeasy with the whole Newport event. There's another Speakeasy happening. If you have premium tickets to this event, there's going to be a pre-show cocktail speakeasy at 6 p.m. in the Vets in their in the loft, and then you'll head on down to the rip-roaring 20s of the music there at the Vets for the whole First Works American Rhapsody Gershwin Songbook. It's going to be really cool.
Everybody's having speakeasies.
You know, it's the thing to do.
They just want to have dancing and some music and, of course, some cocktails to warm you up in this cold month.
Is that all you need for a speakeasy?
I think so. Maybe some feathers and a flapper dress.
I'll go get mine from the cleaners. What else we got coming up?
So the Newport Winter Festival. We talked about the Newport Vineyards Winterfest, but there's a Newport Winter Festival going on February 16th through the 25th. This is their 30th annual Newport Winter Festival. It is touted as New England's largest winter extravaganza. So this is all of Newport and Newport County. There's going to be over 150 events.
Wow.
They're going to offer a unique winter experience that combines food, like the Great Chili Cook-Off. That's right. That's what you want this time of year. Some festivities, music, and fun for all ages. There's, of course, going to be a princess party for kids. There's going to be fun concerts by the Jimmy Buffett Tribute Band.
Oh, Changes in Latitude.
Yes. You know them.
Good. Yeah.
As I said, the Chili Cook-Off, which I'm actively drooling now, thinking of all the chili options. So lots of fun things, over 150 events. Newport in the winter is so fantastic because the tourists are gone, guys.
And it's free parking.
Oh my gosh, and free parking. So you can't beat it. Once again, happening in the perfect timing over break. So if you need to get the kids somewhere, head on down to Newport for the Newport Winter Festival.
Yeah, they also have some comedy shows coming up too as well down there. So be sure to check that out.
Cool.
If you're into comedy and everything. Yeah, we'll have the link for that. Hey, if you're like a typical Rhode Islander, you give directions on where things used to be, like Almack's or Zayre's or Caldor's or Benny's.
Oh my gosh.
But Lost Landmarks, it's a recording of oral history on Saturday, February 17th from 1 to 4 p.m. at the Cranston Public Library on Saucony Crossroad.
I'm so confused. Hold on. Recording oral history?
Yeah. So here's what it's going to be. You will go to the Central Library, Cranston. You can go from 1 to 4 p.m. and you'll have the opportunity to record your memories for posterity with a teen volunteer using the library's podcasting equipment. So it's talking about, you can talk about obviously any of your favorite Rhode Island memories or places that have been lost due to time, like Rocky Point. What else have we lost in Rhode Island where, this is Bessie in all the various...
the tent.
Yeah. The Warwick Musical Theater. Yes. You can talk about how you actively miss Benny's right now. Maybe you can talk about how you miss Buddy Cianci. But recording sessions will last approximately 15 minutes, and they may be booked ahead of time. So if you wanna book it now, you can. Or you can just go the day of the program, this space permitting. So strongly advise you to call Lise over there, and we'll have the link there. But this is a really cool, something different.
Yeah.
And this is... A lot of people think, oh, geez, it's oral history. Maybe they want old people. No, they want young people too. They want young people to talk about, things that you grew up with, things that you may, have, like Rocky Point. It's the biggest one.
Yes.
I think you could really have share a lot of memories. Especially, I'm 36. You could share a lot of memories as my age because you grew up with it. And you can reminisce about a time when Rhode Island didn't have so many potholes.
And I love that you can. The potholes are so bad right now.
They're terrible. It's so big. I think I hit one the other day. I think I found Jimmy Hoffa in the bottom of it.
Oh my God, they're horrible. So bad.
Had its own gift shop and a Dunkin' Donuts in the bottom. It's insane.
Oh my gosh.
It's like a fish concert in the bottom.
So, also coming up this weekend, the Rhode Island Philharmonic is having a concert weekend with Rachmaninoff's second piano concerto, and I'm going to give you guys a little taste. 5 times as big as Rachmaninoff's hands, those potholes. Rachmaninoff had giant hands, and let me tell you, this piano concerto is like the one. So the Philharmonic, they did the third Rachmaninoff piano concerto last year or the year before, and I remember someone being like, is it the second? If it's the second, I'll go. This is the one. This is the one.
Sure.
So, of course, they're doing this phenomenal search for a new conductor throughout the year, and they're going to have a concert on Friday, which is the Amica Rush Hour concert series. That is from 6:30 to 8. It's perfect. You can go literally in whatever you normally wear that day, to work. Say you even wear jeans and a nice shirt. You could totally wear that. It's at the Vets. Really informal. One of my favorite things about those concerts is that the conductors often take the time to talk you through the piece. So they're going to talk probably about why this piano concerto is such a big deal. And then on Saturday night, if you'd like to see the full performance, you can go to the Takeo Classical Series. That takes place at 8 p.m. So if you want to have an early dinner on Saturday, you can do that. And if you wanted to have a later dinner, you can see it on Friday. But let me tell you, going to these concerts is super exciting. Oh my gosh, I didn't even realize it. They're also playing the Firebird. Okay, if you want to see...
Like a Pontiac?
Oh my God, no, it's Stravinsky's Firebird. I'm just going to tell you, if you like classical music, this is the weekend to go. Stop everything you're doing. Go to see the Philharmonic.
So I made the joke in the beginning about Rachmaninoff's hands. Yes. And that's the whole point of Rachmaninoff. That's why it's so hard to play.
Yeah.
Because he wrote music for his hand size, which he could span a lot more keys than the average person. Now, I can reach from C to the next D.
Okay.
Which is that's a huge span because I have fat, bull mastiff paws. I'm nothing dainty about these hands.
So what could he reach?
I believe he could reach a C to a G.
What? What?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he had the ability to. It was over over a scale and a half.
So there are now people who play these pieces. They have to do incredible exercises with their hands to stretch them, or they even have to figure out alternative fingerings.
It's
they have
exactly
to move
what
their
it is.
hands differently.
Right.
Because
They have to do that, or just work extra hard to hit the notes.
Wow.
Yeah, it's crazy. So that's why it is such a big deal with Rachmaninoff. So that's cool. So that's everything. That's our Wicked Fun of the 401. That's awesome.
And now here is our Wicked Family Friendly pick for the week.
That theme song is terribly long.
Somebody's shorten it. Well, this pick of the week is the 9th annual Providence Children's Film Festival. I love this event because we have so many great filmmakers and
I thought you were going to
festivals.
say we have so many great children.
Oh, we really do. Rhode Island has quite many treasures of children, but we have a lot of filmmakers. We have a lot of film festivals here in the state, but kids aren't always able to see it. Like there's horror film festivals. There's just things that are more adult-natured or that kids might not even enjoy seeing.
Or you just don't want to take your kids.
You want to go have a night without children in the building. So this is great because it's going to bring together the best of the independent and international cinema to inspire, delight, educate, and connect a diverse community of children and families from all of Rhode Island and actually throughout all of New England. It's going to be many main venues within walking distance of downtown Providence and just a few satellite places throughout the Rhode Island. It's going to be over 10 days. So this is going on the 16th through the 25th. Perfect timing once again if your kid's on school break. There's also going to be filmmaking workshops. So say you have a young budding filmmaker, this is perfect, something you can bring to them too. Or there's going to be conversations and activities to really help deepen the film watching experience. I've been able to see some of these films in the past, and they're phenomenal even for an adult to see.
Really?
Just because it's called the Children's Film Festival doesn't mean you need to be a young little lad or lass to see these films and take something from it. It's really, really creative stuff.
Oh, that's awesome. So that's happening, starts on the 16th?
The 16th,
Okay,
yes.
cool. It goes right through the 25th.
The 25th, that's
awesome.
right.
I like it. Ladies and gentlemen, no matter where you are in the state of Rhode Island, you're never more than 18 and a half miles from either Connecticut, Massachusetts, or the water. And because it's vacation week, we typically give you a borderline segment, borderline listing that's just over the border. Well, with vacation week, we're going to give you something a little bit further away, all the way up and way far north in Charleston, Massachusetts.
It's wicked far.
Wicked far. Want you to head over to the USS Constitution Museum. Why? Because all next week, it is the Lego Maritime Festival.
What does that
Boom.
even mean?
So this is inspired by different ship designs.
Yep.
Okay. They will be on display in Masters of Miniature. That's right. In Legos and Duplo bits.
So they're literally making these amazing boats, but out of Legos.
Out of Legos.
What?
And you can head over to the museum and build your own ship with Legos and Duplo bricks. And it's going to be an absolute blast. I would be lying if I said this was just for kids. This is for grown-up kids as well. They will also have, check this out, a nautical fun float your boat Lego challenge. So you will have an opportunity to make a Lego boat and see if it actually floats. They will be able to try it.
I love it.
So it's going to be a ton of fun. It's happening every day from the 17th right through the 24th.
Awesome.
So, and it's during the day. So if you're on vacation next week, be sure to check it out. It's the USS Constitution Museum might not be a place you would normally take a child who is interested in Legos, but this is a great reason to do both at the same time. Go check out the amazing ships there and the history and play with Legos. What's better than that?
It sounds awesome to me.
And you'll have your shoes on the entire time, so you don't have to worry about stepping on a little Lego with your bare foot.
Oh, it's the worst. It's the worst.
Folks, as we said in the beginning, everything we talked about today on this podcast can be found on our website, wickedroadypodcast.com.
You can find us on Facebook and Instagram. So listen, if you're going to any of these events, or if you're going anywhere during this school vacation week and you take a really nice photo, we want to see it. Simply tag us in the description. Use the hashtag WickedRhody. This is another great way to let people learn about Wicked Rhody without necessarily saying, hey, listen to this podcast. If you say, took my kids to Newport Winterfest Festival.
Or you took your kids to Winterfest and you want us to make fun of you.
There you go. You can just say, we're being Wicked Rhody right now.
There you go. Absolutely. For advertising and sponsorship information, you can email us at wickedrhodypodcast@gmail.com. And of course, if you like what you're listening to, you can always leave us a review on the Apple Podcasts, the app. You can leave us a review there or on a website, anywhere. Or if you're just in a random bathroom at some nightclub, just write, I like Wicked Rhody on the bathroom walls. And for a good time, call some 7-digit number that you randomly choose.
A little shout out to Marco, one of our podcast listeners who got to say a little hello to Ben at McCoy Stadium this week. So thanks, Mark. Until next time, folks, I'm Mary Larson.
And I'm Ben DeCastro.
And you've been listening to Wicked Rhody. We'll have more for you next Thursday.